Honorable, Right Honorable Speaker, Right Honorable Deputy Speaker, Excellency Vice President, Right Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable.
Uganda's new cabinet is not just a list of appointments, it's a political message. Just like some European football clubs with better speeches and worse defending. Since President Museveni swearing in, Ugandans were refreshing their social media feeds like football fans on transfer deadline day, just to come to terms with who is still in and who is out of the cabinet. And when the final lineup dropped, it became clear that some ministers had been treated like aging football players whose legs went before their contracts expired. People like Moses Ali and Okello Oryem had survived coups, elections, protests, donor pressure, opposition waves, Twitter exhibitions, and budget scandals. Some had become permanent in government that children born after 2000 probably assumed the minister was part of their birth certificate. Then there was Matia Kasaija, the colleague who promised us money but left before it came.
And colleagues, money will come.
He was Uganda's Casemiro, experienced, trusted by the manager, and capable of surviving terrible performances through sheer seniority. But eventually the coach looks at the middle field and says, we need young legs before the economy gets relegated.
As long as some of us are still in charge, unless there is really a catastrophe, in which I don't see at all, that will make this economy going behind.
Major Dong resembled Thiago Silva, veteran leader, calm under pressure, and still respected, but increasingly moving like someone buffering on Uganda's poor Wi-Fi. You could tell retirement was approaching because every public appearance started looking like a soccer aid charity match. And for his replacement, we got the new stock in Adonia Ayebare, considered Uganda's Bruno Fernandes, influential, self-driven, with some goals to his name, and considered the heartbeat of Uganda's foreign policy. The appointment of Robin Anabanja, VP Jessica Lupo, and Rebecca Kadaga remain essential to the system and are managers' favorites. But beyond being the manager's favorite, one docket remains with Uganda's version of Kevin De Bruyne. Elite status, automatic starter, and no tactical explanation is needed. Even asking when the person will be dropped feels unconstitutional. Yet the funniest people right now are the newly appointed ministers, the so-called stock empya. They are behaving exactly like expensive Chelsea signings, big smiles, aggressive confidence, and too many promises. You can already hear them in the interviews.
It's high time that patriots got up, whether you're in NRM or whether you're where, and they put things right in this country. We are not going to accept. I'm telling you, if people are telling them to get worried, yet they might as well have a big reason.
Yes, they want Uganda transformed. Of course, even Manchester United is rebuilding for more than a decade now. These new ministers still believe effort is enough. Oh, poor souls. Soon they will discover that governing Uganda is less like Pep Guardiola football and more like Everton survival tactics. Clear confusion quickly, avoid scandals, and pray the budget arrives. Meanwhile, the political unemployment is brutal. Each cabinet reshuffle creates both celebrations and silent funerals. The dropped ministers are experiencing the most painful transition in Ugandan life. Yesterday, police escorts were clearing traffic for their convoys. Today, border riders are scratching their cars and overtaking them with disrespect, yet helpless. Some are now explaining to their relatives that after all, I wanted to rest anyway, just to justify the crisis of falling out of things. And just like in football, nobody ever admits they were dropped because of poor performance. But those sobering up have started focusing on personal projects, the same way an exiting striker says, I am excited for a new challenge in Saudi Arabia. The truth remains, our ministers are like football players. Their home districts are fan bases. VAR, otherwise known as the State House, always has the final decision, strictly reviewed by President Museveni, and remains the only manager in world football who has survived every season since 1986 without being sacked. But then the real comedy is us, the fans, who who are the ordinary Ugandans. Every reshuffle, we convince ourselves that signing a new midfielder will suddenly fix the entire club. Meanwhile, inflation is pressing higher than Liverpool, fuel prices are attacking harder than Manchester City, and corruption remains undefeated home and away. Government spokespersons keep sounding like post-match Arsenal pundits when explaining their heartbreak of seeing the champions win in view once. And a certain Mutume from PLOU, who missed a ministerial post, is behaving like a Manchester United supporter who suddenly discovers an undying love for PSG and starts hosting Arsenal-style victory parties, not because PSG won, but because Arsenal lost. That's a level of second-hand celebration that deserves its own trophy. Uganda's cabinet changed like a squad. Some veterans were sent into retirement, young ministers fell in things, and some fairly old royal benchwarmers were still rewarded. Others have since become senior presidential advisors. Uganda's most elegant phrase for technically retired but still politically dangerous to let go. They now have less pressure, good salary, and are still politically surviving because it is all a survival game, and Ugandan politics believes deeply in comebacks. That's why politicians never criticize too loudly after being dropped. Vice President Jessica Alupo, Crispus Kionga, Henry Tumukunde, and others know this better. So congratulations to the new cabinet and those still on the waiting list for the midterm reshuffle. Here is what to expect in the week ahead. Our role is to boldly and accurately bring you the truth on these stories. Keep it locked on all our platforms so you do not miss anything. Have a fantastic week ahead.